Let me tell a tale of a world where heroes walk among us, fighting through the darkness left by monsters and by selfish men. A tale of glory rents asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they carry on. Let me sing a song of a family forged by trials and woe. On their own they falter, but together they will write their own tale of glory rent asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they carry on. What was rent shall be restored. What was lost now shall be found. The price of valor ever rising, where victory brings new rewards. Tales of glory, might, and wonder, hard-fought battles, treasures won. Our heroes know their fate awaits them, and so they carry on. Hello, and welcome to Ages of Ainur. My name is Pixel, and I am your humble stream host, and not your dungeon master or keeper of dragons today, and I am pleased to present to you the Who's That Guy Surrounded by All Those Other Dead Guys, and What's a Nice Huge Man Like Him Doing in a Place Like This, fourth episode of Ages of Ainur presents Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. As always, we're going to get into the game here in just a few minutes, my friends, but before we do, we're going to go over those usual housekeeping things. First things first, you will notice today that my head is in a small box. That means that I'm not the GM. So what you see on the screen is my player's perspective, which means you're not at risk of spoiling anything that you see on the GM like you would in our other streams. But if we just do want to say, if you do happen to have played or read this adventure and know, kind of what we're up against, please don't spoil anything in chat because we will be hanging out with you guys trying to interact. Second, don't freak out about rules. There's a lot of them in this game, and we don't want anybody being obnoxious about that in chat. If we forget a ruling or don't remember something, or frankly want to make something up because it's cooler, chill and just enjoy the story. With that being said, we do have some homebrew rules that we're using for crits and for short rests. So you may notice those during play. Third, as always, this is an open and welcoming space, so do try to keep that internet toxicity nonsense out of here. It's never a problem with you guys, but we do want to make sure everybody knows that we will not put up with anyone being abusive or hateful in chat, whether that's to other viewers or to the players regarding anything from their knowledge of the game or their rules, their character choices and roleplay, or frankly, anything else. As always, you guys are great, but we do like to give that heads up ahead of time so that no one can say, we didn't warn you. Also, a reminder, we do release a show on YouTube after each episode during the following week, so if you miss an episode or have to miss part of it, don't fret. You can still catch it after the fact if you would like to be caught up for the next week to watch it live, or if you just prefer to watch it after the fact. And then, of course, before we get started, we're going to go around and introduce ourselves and our characters and remind folks whether or not we have chat inspiration. I will pass it on then to DocRobert.
Hey everybody, I'm DocRobert, or Robbie, and I am the illustrious Dungeon Master for this game of Descent into Avernus. I am playing literally everyone who is not these five. So, with that, we'll move it back to Pixel.
Oh my gosh, hi everyone, didn't see you there. Welcome in. My name's Pixel, and I will be playing Phoenix Brightgreen, #1 Internet Sad Dad. Also, you can find me here on twitch.tv/HammerandPixel. We've been streaming a lot of Elden Ring, as I'm sure someone is about to tell you here in a minute. Also, real quick announcement that we will have our Curse of Strahd game starting up again next week on Fridays. It's a later time slot because of my new work schedule, but May 3rd and onward every other week, we will be having our Curse of Strahd game back until we finish that up, so be on the lookout for that.
All right, next on the screen, let's go with Bonus Mom.
Hey there. Excuse me, I'm Bonus Mom, and I will be playing Bonnie Mama. Sorry. And I want to have an important service announcement tonight before you go to bed. Please check your fire alarms and your carbon monoxide devices, because our next door neighbor's house 15 feet away burned out this week, and their lives were saved because they had fire alarms. So that's my message, and I'm looking forward to playing tonight.
All right, we will move to McReese.
Hi guys, I am McReese. Tonight I will be playing Raven LaFey, the Tiefling Druid.
Cam.
Hi. Got my own name for a second there. My name's Cam, no remark. I am here. You can find me here on twitch.tv/no_remark. I will be playing the ever lovable Neil Boggs, Goblin Wizard.
And Kaylee.
Hey, I'm Christy, or Kaylee, and I play Temperance, the female Air Genasi sorcerer. And I am also around the internet in different places. Most recently, I'm at Reality Break 20 on Twitch. We stream on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. And I am currently DMing for the first time. We just started a one-shot miniseries, whatever you want to call it, on Tuesday. And so we will be continuing that. And I'm the DM in that one, so for the first time. And you can also find me at Kaylee1999 in most places, and on TikTok, especially these days.
And I neglected to say I have chat inspiration, and I think everybody else
I think
did
everybody
too.
has chat.
Yeah, I think we all do.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't remember, and I was hoping somebody else remembered whether I had chat inspiration or not.
Yeah, everyone I believe has chat inspiration at the moment, and it looks like everyone has an HP token too. At least if I'm reading the screen.
Yeah,
right.
so the HP, well, basically what that is, each session, each character could have a hit dice redeemed on them once, and then so I take it off once they've had it redeemed.
Oh, okay.
So basically that just means
Fair
they are
enough.
eligible for chat to give them one, which is kind of odd because it's the opposite of what the inspiration means, but it makes sense because the inspiration is like a charge that you store, and the hit dice is like a thing that you spend, so it's like...
Yeah, it's one or either.
Yeah, it's like the heart means it's in stock, and the thing means it's... And the dice means it's stocked up. I don't know, it's...
It works. Whatever.
It's hard, okay?
All right.
Everybody gets read.
With that, let's do a quick recap of our last session. So, last session, our illustrious characters made their way to a bathhouse, probably for some of them for the first time in a long time. And after some extended investigation, they managed to find a passageway that led underneath the bathhouse into a dungeon. And as they started going through the dungeon, they discovered this dungeon was dedicated to the three evil gods of the Dead Three, Bane, Baal, and Merkel. Hijinks ensued, including nearly getting them killed from one member of the group, but survival was achieved, and eventually, heading around the corner, they found a rather large man fighting what seemed to be an emissary of evil. You could tell that by the fact he had no face and only a skull. And after some really nasty hits, including a critical guiding bolt from our, I believe it was our cleric, or nope, sorcerer. I forgot that you're a sorcerer, not a cleric. Yeah, you kind of in between. It's,
Somewhere in that vibe.
Exactly.
Divine soul sorcerers,
Yes. He was defeated and left standing there amongst his fallen enemies. And also, we had a level up in the meantime. So I'm sure our instead of going through and letting everybody say what they got as it becomes relevant, we'll talk about the things we got during our level up, when and if it is relevant. So with that, let us head back into the dungeon as this large man is standing there, short of breath, heaving as he is almost perished in the encounter. What are you guys doing?
Well, I suppose seeing the one person die, Fenix sort of like stops charging through the waist-high water and just sort of also stands there breathing heavily.
Well, Bonnie Mama is still racing down the hall, so she is just probably in the process of coming around the corner. She heard all the noise, from the fight, and probably stops when she starts to see that there's dead people up there and one guy with a very big weapon standing. She's just stopped dead in her tracks.
He
Raven
looks...
is going to have Cleo move closer to Fennec in case she needs to cast a spell through Cleo, and then move in closer because she's kind of, wait up, guys! I have little hoops.
As he turns and says, "Well, you're not a member of the Dead Three. I could see that." And let me also reveal some more of the map as you move into this area. So it seems to be talking to you, Phoenix.
No, we're here with the Flaming Fist.
Oh. Well, I guess that's good for me.
I suppose.
Oh my goodness, what's happened here? Who are you?
Well, the name is Mortlock. Mortlock Vanthaper. Mortlock, exactly like it sounds.
Mortlock. Got it.
And Vanthaper is a name Bonnie, at least you, immediately recognize, and everyone else almost certainly would hear. And Fennec, you would also recognize it as well. Duke Vanthaper is one of the high dukes of the city. Essentially, think of him like a member of the president's cabinet. If Older Ravengard is the Grand Duke, they are the undersecretaries, and incredibly powerful, and even more powerful than that, in fact. So it looks like you were coming to kill this lot, and he kind of gestures around him broadly.
Yeah, that was the idea. They told us there were people getting, abducted.
Well, they told you true. That was certainly a fact. Yes. We, I must admit here, I had been doing some dealings with them, but it looks like that my brothers have decided I wasn't useful anymore.
Your brothers?
Yes. They hate me.
Oh.
Looks like they tried to get me killed out here.
Why were you dealing with the people down here?
Well, I don't know all the details, but my mother told me that it was that I was to help them and give them money to cause disorder in the city.
Well, I'm now surprisingly quite confused, Bonnie, whether this is a bad guy or a good guy. Adventures are quite complex.
Oh,
He literally
agree.
nods with you as you say it, almost understanding.
you've never spoken true words, Neil, but the Bantava family, of course, is quite respected. I just feel so sorry for anyone to have been betrayed by their family. I hope you're all right, sir.
Well, I'm alive, which is about the best we could hope for.
Well, is this your bathhouse? I'm a little confused myself.
Well, no, it's my mother's. I don't own much of anything myself.
Siblings suck.
Your mother didn't have anything to do with this betrayal, did she? Are you going to be safe now, or will your brothers continue to try to hurt you?
Oh no, I'm sure they'll try to keep killing me. I think it's time for me to leave the city forever.
Oh.
But
Actually,
I just
sounds
hang
like a
on.
good
I just
idea,
want to
though.
clarify real quick. So your mother is funding these cultists to abduct people in the city?
He nods.
Why?
Yes.
I don't know. My mother doesn't like me much either. I don't think she was the one who tried to kill me, but I'll just kind of do what she says.
Well, I don't know what decision you're going to make, but we are going to have to tell who do we work for? The Iron Fist?
Flaming
The
Fist.
Flaming Fist.
Oh yes, flaming. All right. I knew it was something
and
like
Phoenix
that.
just like points to the badge with like the Flaming Fist logo on it that
Oh,
we're all wearing.
yes. I get my words mixed up, you know. I mean to say one thing and then I say another. I was very close, though, actually. Well, it might be better if you wanted to, well, move along because I don't think the bathhouse is going to be able to stay the bathhouse. We did have a bad experience back there a ways, and we might have dealt with one of the people that are not doing good things.
Well, if you've gotten this far, you probably killed anyone that mattered along with this one. So, I don't know how much the cult will be able to continue to function. But if they can, it's my brother who's been paying them anyway.
Which brother?
What's his name?
Oh, my brother is Amrik. Amrik.
Amrik.
I kind of lean towards Phoenix. So, Phoenix, do we need to arrest him and take him back to the Flaming Fist? Is this a Flaming Fist arrest?
Oh,
well, the problem.
Also, before we get too far, Phoenix, you recognize Amrik's name immediately.
Okay.
You say that because you've borrowed money from him before. He's kind of a shady loan shark.
Great. Good times.
And he operates out of a bar that you are familiar with, a bar called the Low Lantern. An old ship on the harbor converted into a bar.
Does that ring a bell?
It absolutely does ring a bell.
Yeah, when we were fighting the people in that other bar for
different thing. It rings a bell because that is the bar you were drinking in our session 0.
Yeah, session 0.
Okay. Great. Yeah, so Fennec sort of like out of the corner of his mouth says to Neil, well, the problem is that his family are politically well connected and have more money than God. So if we arrest him, that's, gonna cause problems for the organization. So if we're gonna do anything to him, it's kill him here or let him go?
While they're discussing it, Raven wants to move up to Morlock, understanding the need to put distance between oneself and one's siblings, and offers to help him fake his death.
Oh, well, that would be much appreciated. I could tell you, I have no intention in staying in Baldur's Gate. Because although my mother wouldn't hurt me, she wouldn't mourn me neither. I think she does it out of obligation for my father. But Amric and Thirstwell, they hate me.
There's something we could take back to her that would prove to her that you're dead.
He kind of looks around. I don't know. I don't have much of nothing.
Just tear some of your vest or clothes or something that would be
A
identifiable.
personal effect.
Yeah. Well, you just tear a scrap off or something.
He kind of looks at his smock that he's wearing and unties it around him and tosses it to Raven.
Anything with a family emblem, like a pendant or
it is embossed on it.
Yeah, that was one of the things Phoenix had noted, was he has this brooch thing on.
Is it like bloody? Because he was pretty beat up when we showed up.
Yeah,
right?
There's definitely some blood on it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
And just for good measure,
Yes.
he's like, oh, just in case, he rubs some extra blood on it.
That's what I was going to suggest.
It over.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Oh, would be much appreciated.
And some ash from the creature that Temperance blew up.
Easy enough.
That way, leftover ash, there was no body really left.
You got it. Yeah, easy enough to do. He goes, well, they got some stuff here. We've been funding them. You're welcome to take any of it. It's no good to me. I'll have enough to get me out the city. It's all I need.
Well, that's very generous of you.
Oh, just so you know, my brother Thirstwell, he likes to do some spying with the imps. He probably knows you're here.
Would he know you're still alive? Or does he see us now?
No, probably not here, but I'll have to try to sneak out. It's likely he'll know. But I'll take my chances.
Well, we certainly wish you well.
He nods.
Does that conclude our business here, Phoenix?
I mean, I suppose we can let this fellow go, but we probably have a little bit more poking around to do. He said that whatever funds have been transferred to these cultists are sitting around here. Also, they may have, I don't know, information or other things on their persons. He sort of gestures at the people laying around in the water.
We should probably make sure there's no one else chained up to a wall anywhere as well.
Well, does he know anything about if there's is there anybody chained to any walls remaining in the building? We already rescued a blonde, curly-haired guy, and this spooky
Those
lady
are the
over
only
here.
two I saw.
Are there other places where people might be chained up?
Well, I don't think so. If you got the blondie and he gestures to the lady who's kind of tracking along behind you. They were the only two I saw.
Well, I suppose we'd better search the bodies then. I don't think I want to watch as you step away, and then I won't know anything. Sometimes ignorance is a good policy, and Bonnie's gonna step towards starting to investigate.
And as that happens, he just kind of gently pushes past you and says, "Thank you. And if you don't, and no offense, but I do hope we do not meet again."
Do you know where they kept the funds?
Good luck to you.
Before you run away.
Yes.
Where did they keep the funds?
Oh, and he points to the couple rooms around this area.
That's the best part of the adventure deal, is looting the place. It's
Goodbye
fun.
for now.
Okay. Well, Bonnie's going to start with the first body she comes from and start to gingerly in the icky water and the dead bodies and whatever, grimacing as she goes. She's beginning to search the bodies.
Yeah, most of them don't have much on them other than just some daggers. They are overall not terribly again, it looks like they are not terribly equipped at all. They don't have any money on them. They've got like a dagger, real nasty dagger. And you do see a vial of poison on each one of them.
Well, I think Bonnie will pocket that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she's aware of the rooms the guy looked towards. So she's just kind of fumbling around. She probably tries to do a little prestidigitation to see if she can clean them up a little bit for their family. She's just, trying to be nice.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Raven-
Phoenix heads up towards the stairs to sort of look up and see.
Temperance will follow Phoenix.
I will collect Cleo and go to one of the rooms.
Okay.
If Bonnie notices them stepping away, she will begin to follow, but she's
And
probably
then,
a little bit behind them.
Neil, let me reveal this area over by you.
And think about it, bitch.
And Phoenix also just sort of to everybody says, be alert for traps. Sometimes people that haven't put a lot of traps elsewhere will trap treasure rooms for obvious reasons.
Okay, your computer did something funny, and I sort of missed that. It's like it was slow, and then it speeded up.
Yeah, honestly, my computer is being weird. Out of character, he's suggested everyone be on the lookout for traps.
Okay. And Temperance, you feel an odd sensation just pulling you over by Neil. There's something over there that just seems to be calling to you.
Temperance is going to kind of look at Phoenix like she wants to follow, but she's going to follow this pull because that's not steered her wrong in the past.
And Neil, over here, there are 4 chests. Phoenix, up here, there is another door. Raven, this will lead you into a full room, and there is no door in that one, so I can unhide that one.
Do I feel a pull to any of those chests more than the others, or is it just that area in general?
As a matter of fact, you do. You do feel a pull towards the area in general, but there is something right here that is just, for whatever reason, you feel enamored by.
She's gonna kind of drift past Neil like in a bit of a daze and go look at that chest more closely.
Temperance. Oh God.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean it doesn't seem to be locked based on your it's actually even slightly ajar.
She'll remember what Phoenix just said about traps and see if there's anything like a tripwire or anything around it.
Perception check.
Okay, Bonnie is seeing that they've split in 2 directions, and she's smack dab in the middle of where Phoenix is and where they are, and she's dithering.
21.
Yeah, no traps seems to be totally good.
Then I'm gonna open it.
In this chest, it is almost empty. But inside of it, you see this beautiful crown. Or circlet, I guess you could say. This is the best that I could do. It's not a perfect representation. This 5-pointed circlet has a red, black, green, and white gem in each of its 5 points. and just seems quite ornate, very beautiful.
Red, black, green, and white, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Green.
Red, black, green, white.
Gems.
I'm
1,
missing
2, 3.
one.
That's only 4.
Yeah, hold on. Red, black, green, white, blue. Yep.
What curiously specific colors.
Why I'm writing it down. Anything that's curiously specific, I write down.
Hmm,
Do I get the sense
curious.
of any magic coming from this?
You can make an Arcana check.
I'm going to.
At advantage.
Ooh, at advantage. With advantage. I rolled 4s.
Excellent.
So that's a 6 total.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe. It's
I'm
cool
going to
as
use
hell.
inspiration. I'm going to use my chat
Okay.
inspiration. That's a 12.
Okay. This absolutely has some magic emanating off of it.
Temperance, what have you found?
This, and she's gonna pick it up out of the chest and show Neil.
Oh,
I don't.
very
It's
pretty.
magic, but I don't know what kind.
I mean, once we have some time, I can certainly sit down and have a look into it a little bit further and see if I can figure anything out about it.
That would
But
be
I don't
wonderful.
think this is the time or place.
No, I think you're probably right, but there's something about it. I need to know what it is, what it does, where it's from.
Well, you keep a hold of it, and I'll see what I can find out later.
All right. With that, let's move up to... Oh, sorry, go on.
I'll let you look at the other chests, because I don't really want to touch them.
With that, let's
okay.
move up to Raven. As you walk into this room, you see the depiction of 3 statues. One of them, I believe I have flavor text. Burned torch stubs litter the floor of this hall in the western end, which is occupied by 3 6-foot-tall painted wooden statues. Each statue stands atop a 2-foot-high block of red stone, making it look taller and foreboding. The center statue resembles a heavily armored man whose face is hidden behind the fearsome visor of a helmet. He's painted red except for his right gauntlet, which is black. Clutched in his gauntlet is a blood-red spear pointed upwards. The statue to the north depicts a purple-garbed male wearing a harlequin mask and a dagger behind his back. And the statue to the south portrays a black-robed skeleton, its jaw open wide and bony hands outstretched.
Creepy.
Would Raven have any clue who these statues represent?
Religion check at advantage.
Ooh, she's my first character that has like a 0 in religion.
Ironically.
15.
Bane, Ball, and Merkel. The dead 3.
Are the statues the only things in the room? Are there any...
There's a door to
sacrifices, any tributes, any kind of candles, anything that would say that this area is used in, I don't know, a temple-ish kind of way?
I mean, you could assume that each one of them is meant for some kind of veneration, would make sense to you. You don't see anything specifically that would indicate religious worship, but you also know that the way that they do worship is a little different. They don't just, you know.
She's going to very carefully and cautiously move closer to see if there's any kind of inscriptions or tablets or marks on that floor that look as if maybe these statues move.
Yeah, perception check.
Nine.
No, not that you see, but as you walk up to this statue, I need you to make me a charisma saving throw.
Oh
boy.
Crap. Charisma? Oh, jeez. Oh, okay.
You can do it. You can
17.
Do it.
Okay, you feel a compulsion to worship in front of Bane, But but after that happens, you kind of shake your head and be like, well, obviously I'm not going to do that.
She just sort of out of instinct, I have to check my notes because I can't remember which one I picked, but she will utter a very soft prayer to her father's patron.
Mm-hmm.
And then slowly back up and go get Phoenix.
Speaking of which, let's go over to Phoenix.
Yeah, so I think Phoenix saw Temperance sort of be pulled one way, and kind of hears them over there, and then sees Raven go up, and so he decides consciously not to go up the stairs and to sort of just like turn around to keep an eye, because he can sort of, he's relatively close either way, but upon hearing his name being called, he's going to go ahead and move over to this room.
As Bonnie sees the party split even further apart, she'd be saying, Neil, Temperance, let's don't get too far apart from each other in these rooms. Is everything all right? And she stays a little bit where she is.
But yeah, Temperance found a fancy hat in her chest. And there's some other chests, but I was sensible, Bonnie. I said I'm not going to touch them because I'm not going to get blown up by a trap.
Oh, Neil, that's so wise of you. I need to do the same. We must be careful. But they've moved towards another room. Should we try to stay together? And Bonnie's going to hesitatingly start to move towards the other room, hoping that the others will follow.
And just look, that prayer would have been to Helm.
And yeah, so Phoenix comes up and says, yeah, what do we got here?
God's bad ones. That middle one is asking for followers. He's creepy.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, that seems sort of like the thing maybe we should generally stay away from. What else do I see in this room? Like, what's over here? Is that another door?
Yeah, that's a doorway. That's a doorway over there. Other than that, the room seems fairly empty. It seems like this was one of the places they tried to keep a little more clean, out of respect.
Yeah, I think Phoenix doesn't, as a barbarian, doesn't feel confident in his ability to withstand a bunch of mental magic stuff, which seems like what Raven described. But I do think he's going to enter the room and go kind of examine this door over here for traps or issues, and to sort of see if he thinks kind of architecturally, geographically, if that other door also leads into like the same room, he thinks, or...
Yeah, so for that second one, you have advantage on that and expertise because of dwarven stone cutting.
Heck yeah. Okay.
So make that perception check at advantage with expertise.
Okay. We'll do advantage, and then we'll be adding a +2.
+4 because you double your proficiency.
I'm already proficient, so it'll be
2 additional. I thought you meant +2 overall.
Oh no. Yeah, I'm rolling. I'm gonna roll perception, and then I'll get an additional +2 on top of it.
Okay, cool. I'm about to say, damn, like your check really sucks. If that's
okay. It's rolling, but okay. Looks like that's a 22 on the one with stone.
Yeah,
cutting.
you're pretty
actually
sure
24 with the one on stone cutting.
Okay. So you definitely don't see any traps, and you're almost certain that this is the same room that you saw from the other thing. That would make sense, unless it's or at least they're connected rooms.
Gotcha. Well, Phoenix doesn't want to make a bad example and yell, even though he's pretty sure that if anything else had been around here, it would have come out to fight that guy. But he doesn't want to be leading a confusing example, so he's going to go back down the stairs and just sort of say to Bonnie, like, so what do we got here? What do they have over there? And he sort of points at the other room.
Perfect, which seems like a great time to go back to Temperance, opening the chests. All right.
Yeah, she would check the chests for traps and then open them.
with the 20-something you rolled before, I'll just go ahead and tell you none of these are trapped.
All right, then she'll just go along and open all the chests to see what's in them, if there's anything useful or valuable.
Yeah, all right. I will throw this in our chat, but there is a lot. Chest 1 has 4,500 copper pieces, 2 red crystal vials with gold stoppers, a interesting potion bottle. Chest 2 has a baggie full of agates. There seems like 10 of them.
Agate baggot?
Agate, A-G-A-T-E.
I know, I was just making a pun.
Okay.
Agate baggot.
There you go. And 1,250 silver pieces.
Have shoelaces been invented in this world yet?
Chest 3 has a porcelain mask of a white dragon, and it is on a bed of 2,400 copper pieces and 500 silver pieces. And then the last chest was the one you had already opened. I will pop this whole thing into chat for us.
Excellent.
I'll do it in the Discord chat.
Get my calculator out to add up all the monies.
Go treasurer.
Am I the treasurer? I don't think I'm the treasurer.
I think you are now.
She's the note taker. If she doesn't want to, I could do treasury.
Anyway.
So Temperance is gonna gather up all of these things, since she doesn't know what's might be important or interesting or magical or whatnot other than the crown. Gather up everything and just dump it in her bag for now, and figure we can divvy it up later. And then turn back to Neil and like reluctantly put the crown like in her pack. Like she'll sit there and like look at it for an extra minute or two, or second or two, and just really slowly put it away. And then we'll go over to Neil and say, I think I've got everything of value. So I think we can move on. There doesn't seem to be anything else. We can split it up later.
Yeah, that's very heavy. All of that stuff is like over 100 pounds of treasure and gold and stuff. So probably will take a couple of you splitting it up to carry it out of here.
I cast the gravity thing on Temperance's backpack to reduce the weight of it. So it's
there you go.
Oh,
easy enough.
That's very handy. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm going to apologize, by the way, in advance. If I suddenly disappear or vanish or run away, there is a massive crane fly just flown in my window.
Cameron.
And I may have
That
to deal
is
with it.
completely acceptable in my mind.
Apologies.
Bonnie would be frantically gesturing to everyone to get them together, and she would be speaking very quietly. The things she said were as quiet as possible. She's learned her lesson, hopefully, for the moment.
Okay, sorry, what exactly did Bonnie say?
Just that I'm trying to gesture everybody to stay together. So I'm beckoning to Niels and everyone to get out of that room and let's get back together. And I was being quiet for the moment.
If Temperance sees Bonnie like waving her arms, she'll start heading that way as well.
Easy enough.
What is the cat thing still in the hallway? What is that?
Oh, that's the lady we rescued.
Yep.
What is she doing? Yeah, okay.
She's literally just like leaning against a wall waiting for you to finish so that she can leave.
Okay.
She's not terribly fussed about any of this.
Okay. Well, Bonnie would, again, and I guess we've lost Noah Mark while he fights the beast.
Our tag along, she's a tiefling, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Every once in a while, especially when she's kind of scratching at her horn buds, she kind of just glances over at the older tiefling, trying hard not to like make eye contact or get caught looking, but just looking.
Yeah, she doesn't seem to notice. She seems pretty unaware of the whole situation.
And Phoenix will ask Temperance, what'd y'all find in there?
A whole lot of copper and silver and some vials and some gems and a really pretty white mask and this crown that I'm pretty sure is magic. Neil and I are going to investigate it further when we have some more time. But nothing else. There's a whole lot of copper though. It's quite heavy.
Oh, well, it all spins, but we do have to carry it out of here. Do you like show him the crown?
Probably, yeah. She's
Okay.
very eager to get it out.
And Phoenix does look at the crown and say, "Red, black, green, blue, and white, huh? Them's dragon colors."
Oh.
Just from you to me. I ain't for sure that it's got
Dragon
something to do
colors?
with that, but
Dragons have colors?
yeah. Different, there's lots of different kinds of dragons. The ones most people think of are what they call the chromatic dragons. Yeah, the color determines sort of the species and what kind of breath, weapons, and other abilities they have.
And as you look at it a little more closely, you do notice that each one of the gems does seem to have a subtle scale print etched in it.
Now I'm even more interested in finding out what this is.
Well,
that's fascinating.
Bonnie was just trying to get everybody together. She's being quiet, but she would be like beckoning to Neil to join the crowd here. She's trying to gather everybody up.
Oh, I know I hadn't moved, but I am there. I would have come back with Temperance. Okay. Apologies, I was dealing with said bug.
Epic battle.
Yeah. Is the bug gone?
It is gone.
Heck yeah. Yeah,
quick
Phoenix
combat, you had to roll for initiative.
Yeah.
Tells everybody, well, Raven says there's something weird about the statues in here. Like they're trying to compel people to worship them or something. There's another door, but I think this door over here, and he points up the other way, I think they lead into the same room, so we might be better off.
Statues trying to compel someone. Do we want to leave those statues intact? Because I might have a spell that could maybe break them apart. I don't know how well it would work.
Last time we dealt with something weird and intriguing in this place, I did end up with 3 pet skeletons.
That's very true.
All 3 of them kind of look at you and then nod.
But they're not trying to compel you.
No, this was compulsion. This felt like a deity asking someone to serve him. It was very uncomfortable and strange, and I did not like it.
That sounds kind of like a compulsion, if you ask me. But I have Shatter. I could cast Shatter and see if that's enough to break them into pieces. Maybe it'll stop it. I don't know.
It wouldn't hurt. I didn't have anything without getting close to it, and well, probably not surprise anyone to know that mental fortitude is not exactly an area in which I specialize.
Well, do be careful. Stay as far away as you can, and should we be prepared in case there's something in those that would come after us?
Yeah, I mean, messing with gods and their statues is a good way to get attacked and or cursed, but
we're already messing with their cultists. If we're going to tick them off, we're going to tick them off already.
It's true. I mean, I don't know. It would take me. I don't really have enough resources to take care of all the statues, but I could probably take care of one of them. Which one is it that was the bad one?
The middle one.
Be the center one, yeah.
Center one. All right, then I'm gonna select the right thing on roll 20.
I have spells that could help, but they'd probably put us in danger as well. Earth Tremor and Thunderwave don't really seem the right idea in a dungeon.
I could ask the boys to go and break them.
Well, why don't I see if this works first, and if it works, then we don't have to worry about it, and maybe they could break the others that are not trying to compel people. So I'm gonna just stand basically right at the top of the stairs and cast Shatter at the statue in the middle.
What's the area of effect? What's the
It's a 10-foot radius.
Okay. And where are you dropping that? Because are you trying to hit more than one, or are you only trying to hit the center one?
If I can hit more than one, that would be great.
You can absolutely hit any two of them, basically.
Okay. I think I'm gonna probably center it like in between, like in here somewhere, in between those two.
Yeah. So as you cast the spell, an enormous crack of thunder erupts from the area, and the statues are both obliterated. And Temperance, you immediately feel a coldness descend upon you. And you're not sure why or how, but you feel it immediately.
Well, that might not have been a good idea, but too late now.
I'm going to kind of sneak up the stairways just to take a peek. You've left one.
Unfortunately, I don't really have another. I've kind of tapped out. So if someone else wants, if your pets want to take care of the other one, I still think it would be a good idea not to leave any of them standing.
I think it's a good idea. And I turn around and look at the three skeletons, and I point at the statue and go, "Sick of boys."
And they go over, and then they just start pulling it down. And it takes them a few minutes, but they do manage to topple the statue. And then they just start like stabbing it. I mean, it's not doing anything, but they don't know. You hear their swords clanking off of the stone.
Did Temperance say anything, or did she react where we know that she kind of felt something from the statues?
I don't think she would have said anything else, just that that might not have been the best idea. And we'll kind of leave it at that.
Okay.
Bonnie is going to move up the stairs behind Neil a bit, and she has her spatula out in case, but that's it. Are we all right? Is it over? Did they get rid of them? Can we get out of here? Have we done what we're supposed to? I think it's time to go. Would anyone like lunch or dinner? Perhaps some food? A drink?
Oh, all of those sound lovely, but I do think we have one more room to check.
Let's be on then.
Phoenix is going to head over to that door since we're already kind of in here and open it up.
Bonnie follows.
Having seen that there weren't any.
I'm just going to leave the skeletons attacking that statue.
Yeah. This seems to be a storage room with a bunch of bits and bobs scattered around, along with several rats scurrying.
Great. Yeah, I think Phoenix gestures and just sort of indicates we should poke through it and see what we can find.
Cleo slithers in and has lunch.
I love that.
Neil grips his backpack just a little bit tighter.
Yeah. I will go ahead as you search the room. I put in chat everything that you found. It includes 3 crates of stolen goods, 10 days of rations, a bag of 20 caltrips, 3 flasks of alchemist fire, 6 sets of manacles, 4 tinder boxes, 9 daggers, and 4 potions of healing.
Well, a bunch of this is pretty useless, but some of it could be helpful.
Does Bonnie know that Neil can make things lighter?
Yes.
Neil, do you think you could? Because all of that was in one of the crates, right?
3 of them, but yeah.
Okay. So whatever we can gather up, we think that we could use. Bonnie was going to see if Neil could do the same thing again.
So I believe he can only affect one thing at a time.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah, I can only half the weight of an object like for a minute at a time.
Well, the rations are like the hardtack kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, I feel like we can just buy rations. But the alchemist fire and the healing potions are extremely helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way to tell what was in the packing straw?
probably just more stuff like this, just mundane equipment type of stuff that got used up.
Okay.
Does everybody have a tinderbox?
I
Probably.
I don't know if I do or I don't, but if it turns out I didn't, I'm grabbing one. Actually, she might grab a couple.
Yeah, I've
of
got
them.
a tinderbox.
Yeah.
Just because Bonnie has visions of cooking. If they weren't too heavy.
I already have a set of manacles too for some reason.
Okay.
Ari has this bag. It looks really kind of little, but it's bigger on the inside, and he puts stuff in it, a lot of stuff in it. And it's really light. He has no problem carrying it around. We need one of those.
That sounds quite brilliant, actually.
You know, when I was at the Weavers Guild, we got asked for that all the time. They're not easy to come by, dear. They are magic, and they are quite expensive. They're called bags of
Ari got it
holding.
from our father.
Yes, I remember once we had someone requested in brocade, some sort of yellow and gold and white brocade. It was quite an unusual request.
Well, folks,
We couldn't do it.
I think it's about time we skedaddle. I think we've done the damage we're going to do here.
I agree. And I'm wet, and it's dirty in here.
I'm not going to be able to smell right for a week.
Yeah.
Maybe we should check out the bathhouse on our way out. I think most of us still have passes.
Yes, well, if they find out what we've been up to, I don't think we'll be welcome. I sort of think a surreptitious removal is in order. That can help us once we get out.
Sure, it's not the only bathhouse in town.
Yeah, so as you guys start to exit up to the bathhouse, the first thing you notice is how dark it has become. It seems to be moving on towards nighttime, as you've been in the dungeon for several hours, and all of the people are gone. So you can ignore all the people here, as they are in fact not here.
Goodbye, people.
So, Phoenix,
They're
being new to this flaming ironic fist, the things that we found, are they ours, or are we duty bound by some contract that I should have read more carefully to turn them in? And do we need to report this to someone?
What do I know about that? GM. I mean, I assume Phoenix would know, but Pixel doesn't. So
yeah, so basically, you think that someone would probably need to know about this because they will want to clear that out so it can't be used in the future. So you would probably, though I can tell you right now, making accusations against the Vanthover family without significant evidence would be very dangerous. So you think that if that is something that you want to tackle, you would have to get some more information.
Mm-hmm. But as far as the stuff goes, you know.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the stuff, the loot.
Oh, yeah, no, they don't care.
Finder's fee.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't care. They
yeah,
couldn't care less.
So Phoenix basically says, well, first things first, they can't get mad at us for taking stuff they don't know we have. So if we don't tell nobody we didn't find nothing down there, they don't know we didn't find nothing down there. Even if they did know that we found stuff down there, they probably don't pretty much care. They're more concerned about, you know, keeping up appearances of and not catching flack for people getting snatched off the street. We are going to have to report some of what we know, but I would caution everybody, if we make an enemy of such a powerful family by making, you know, seemingly baseless accusations against them without overwhelming evidence, well, that's a great way to get a knife stuck in your back and dropped in the harbor real quick. So we may want to selectively editorialize our report to maybe make it appear as if, the people running this bathhouse didn't necessarily know what was under there. But at the same time, we should be on the lookout for more clues that could help us,
Well, that was very well thought out, Phoenix. And you say that you're not sure that intelligence is your forte. Well, you just did a fine job, and I agree with you completely.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Can I have the bath now?
Me too.
It is empty, so doesn't seem to be any attendance in here. So if you wish to bathe, the water is still hot.
Yeah, I think Temperance is gonna walk in like fully clothed.
Yeah, I think Phoenix is doing the same thing.
Be very careful, Temperance. You know you won't float. You're a tad heavy for that, dear. So do keep your head above water.
And actually, with the lightened pack, it actually does float as its density has been halved.
It's like, in fact, not only does it float, it's like a floaty.
Yes.
Handy.
Well, Bonnie would certainly climb in somewhere also and clean herself up a bit, and then add some prestidigitation to dry everything. She'd work on everything.
The druid that she is, Raven just strips down, shoves all of her stuff into some towel or something or another, and then just submerges.
Easy enough to get
grabs a
yourself
brush
clean.
to kind of get gunk out of her horns.
You got it.
Bonnie looks away, somewhat shocked.
And then find a robe to wear on the way back.
Neil's hat and backpack are laid neatly to one side. He's still fully clothed, just floating on the water as best as he can.
It feels it's quite relaxing.
I think Phoenix just goes to stand by the front door and stare moodily out into the evening.
Yeah, make
like arms crossed, just sort of like
dries him off and everyone else that she can, so that we're not walking out of this place soaking wet.
Raven has sort of tribal tattoos on both arms and a 9-pointed star on her back.
Cool.
Phoenix, go ahead and make me a perception check.
Yeah. That's a nat 20 for a 23.
Hey.
You see several figures that are making their way over the wall and seem to be these dark figures seem to be approaching up towards the door of the bathhouse.
Okay, I seem to vaguely recall us talking about some like hand signals or noises we were making while like trying to explore downstairs. So I think Phoenix makes one of those. Or so like
everyone make perception checks to see if that happens. We'll call this DC 12. If you have a passive perception above 12, you automatically succeed.
That was a 19 from...
Yep.
That's an 8 for Raven, who's just
That's
under the water.
4 for Temperance.
You guys are really focused on getting clean.
DM, I seem to have lost roll 20. Would you roll for me, please?
Can do.
And Phoenix is going to dip around the corner to kind of hide.
All right. Your passive perception's enough that you notice immediately.
Can I roll perception for Cleo?
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Perception is whiz. Okay.
Yep.
So that is a 12 plus nothing, because she's a snake. She's not wise. That's a 12.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's what you needed, so she does notice. So as that happens, several hooded and masked figures enter into the room. They all look some variation of this.
Oh,
You
great.
notice their it's the thing that is most stands out to them, aside from their black leather armor and their strange masks, are these very evocative daggers that remind you of claws of some sort.
Oh no.
As they as they rush into the room and they look at you and say, "Are you the one that has stolen the lady's treasure?"
To whom?
I'm
Just
just having a bath. Thank you. I
enjoying a
have a holiday
bath, yeah.
pass.
It's
Temperance.
bath time.
As soon as you look up and see this mask, you have a moment of immediate panic and flashback.
Oh no.
You have seen these masks before.
Oh no.
You saw them for years.
Oh no. I think Temperance freezes. I don't think she knows what to do. I think she's so scared, she just freezes, sitting in the bath.
Well, luckily it's warm water, so you won't
Luckily
freeze
it's
too
warm
much.
water, but but she goes to make a smart comment and just her mouth kind of hangs open and she's frozen, kind of in fear.
I can feel it. And then they all immediately turn and look at you, Temperance. You have it. And then they stop. Oh. Did she send you as well?
Yes.
Deception check.
Oh no.
Where is it? Okay. 11.
Oh.
It is odd that you would be with such compatriots and that you do not wear the garb. However, you are obviously a chosen.
Yes, I am. Here undercover. Not. That's why I'm not wearing the. Yes.
Did you dispense with those who stole from Our Lady's hoard?
They're definitely dead.
Make sure that you return the treasure to the hoard in the most timely fashion. He would be displeased if we did not recover Our Lady's treasure.
Do I know who the he is?
No idea.
Okay. All right.
And then he gives you a sidelong glance. He's still unsure. And then, to the service of our queen.
Yes, to the service of the queen.
And her high patron, Archon. And as he says that, he still looks back. He's totally unsure, but he seems like he's conflicted, almost like he shouldn't or can't say something. And the whole group of them turn around and walk out.
I think Temperance just sinks like under the water for a second. That's not good.
I don't think we should stay here any longer.
No,
Let
we
me
need to
drop us
leave.
all, and maybe we should return to our house and Temperance, dear, this does give us a few questions, but perhaps we should get somewhere else to talk about it.
Yes, we need to leave now.
Yeah.
And she'll get out and prestidigitation herself dry.
Bonnie, thinking she's being very mysterious and sneaky because of the hand signal, she's going to proceed to look at Phoenix, look at Temperance, try to get Phoenix's eyes and begin to roll her head. Well, yeah, probably her whole head, trying to roll her eyes, but she's probably rolling her entire head like, you need to keep an eye on this one.
Something wrong with your neck, Bonnie?
Oh, no, just stretching.
Neil, rub on his neck.
I can't reach.
We'll climb.
It's all right. We'll do it later. Let's get out of here.
And you guys do make your way back to Bonnie's house.
Tiefling in the stolen robe.
Yes. Don't
Like the hotel. It's like a hotel where you got to take the robe with you.
As we're walking out, Neil just looks at Temperance and just says, like under his breath, "I've always wanted to meet somebody that was undercover."
Temperance just looks really uncomfortable at that and just keeps walking.
Phoenix is just tracking the horrible sewage through the street. His boots are squelching with every step.
Bonnie trying desperately to prestidigitate anything she can, following along behind him.
And it's easy enough to do. Phoenix probably doesn't even notice as you do it. Little by little. So you do get back to Bonnie's house. It is, you are gelatinous with exhaustion.
As they walk in, looking at Phoenix, Bonnie would say, "Not on the sofa, dear. Please take a wooden chair." And Bonnie would be
Phoenix shrugs.
frantically trying to get them something to eat.
Yeah, and you had some, preparing for a long day, you had some little leftovers, so you don't have to cook a full meal at the moment.
While Bonnie is doing that, I would just say to everybody, could we gather everything that we've collected today, and I will just check over everything if that's okay. And I want to spend some time to cast detect magic, just to pick up on magic items in this treasure, in this hoard that we've got. And then I'd like to, as per usual, pluck out the little tooth and put it into the spell book and start casting Identify and take my time to detect and identify anything magic wise.
Yeah, so the only item that turns out to be magic is the circlet. And it is essentially a circlet of blasting, if you'd like to add that. However, it does have an interesting quirk. It's a circlet of blasting, but when you cast it, you can pick the damage type between fire, lightning, cold, acid, or poison with each blast of the circlet of blasting.
Nice.
I would obviously, once I've figured that out, I would then hand it back to Temperance as well. I'd just write everything else off as non-magical and sellable.
That's fascinating. And I will, if everybody's all right with it, I would really like to hang on to that.
It does feel natural to you. It almost feels like it belongs.
Mm. All right. Everything else, let's see. The copper would be 1380 copper each and 350 silver each. And then 2 of those agates each. And then the rest of the stuff. I don't know, whoever wants.
And feel free to convert from silver and copper to gold. That you could just do that. So.
Yeah.
How much was the silver?
350 each.
And there were how many healing potions?
Just 2 total.
Okay, sorry. And how much was the copper? Sorry.
1380.
Okay.
And then I thought there were 4 healing potions.
Whatever I said.
Well, there were so there's 2 potions of fire breath, and then that was in the first set of chests, and then in the second room there were 3 flasks of alchemist's fire and 4 potions of healing.
Easy for you, Pixel.
Flasks of alchemist's fire. Flasks of alchemist's fire.
I think as
Tougher than you
the
think.
only person who is non-magical, Phoenix needs healing potions and throwables.
Yeah, that's fine. And since I'm keeping the circlet, I don't really care. Like, you guys can, like, everybody else can take the rest.
Okay. I do already have 2 potions of healing.
Okay.
Everybody should.
I think we all do. Yeah.
Okay.
So I would say, I would say Fennec and probably Neil should take, and Bonnie should take the healing potions, because Raven and I have some healing spells that we can
Bonnie
use.
does as well.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
So,
Well,
yeah. With that, as you start to divvy things up, you feel your eyes start to feel heavy, and you start to head to your beds. And
we must talk, Temperance, but perhaps the morning would be better.
yes, I do owe you all at least a little bit of a story, but maybe we save it for the morning.
And you guys can take a long rest, and I think that's a good place for us to take our 10-minute break.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Right.
Alrighty, folks.
That's
We will be back. It is about 6:18 now, so we'll be back in about 10 minutes.
Let me tell a tale of a world where heroes walk among us, fighting through the darkness left by monsters and by selfish men. A tale of glory rents asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they carry on. Let me sing a song of a family forged by trials and woe. On their own they falter, but together they will write their own tale of glory rent asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they carry on. What was Let me tell a tale of a world where heroes walk among us, fighting through the darkness left by monsters and by selfish men. A tale of glory rents asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they carry on. Let me sing a song of a family forged by trials and woe. On their own they falter, but together they will write their own tale of glory rent asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they carry on. What was rent shall be restored, what was lost now shall be found. The price of valor ever rising, but victory brings new rewards. Tales of glory, might, and wonder, hard-fought battles, treasures won. Our heroes know their fate awaits them, and so they carry on. Let me tell a tale of a world where heroes walk among us, fighting through the darkness left by monsters and by selfish men. A tale of glory rents asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they carry on. Let me sing a song of a family forged by trials and woe. On their own they falter, but together they will write their own tale of glory rent asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they carry on. What was Let me tell a tale of a world where heroes walk among us, fighting through the darkness left by monsters and by selfish men. A tale.
Okay, and welcome back, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. We were just doing a little bookkeeping and other break stuff off stream, but we will throw it back into everybody. Where are we?
So you all wake up rested in the morning. However, Raven, despite the fact that you did absolutely get your long rest, you healed and all that, it wasn't the most fulfilling rest. You were plagued with visions, dreams, images. You heard screams. You could smell a sulfuric smell. And every time you would almost start to realize it was a dream, and then it would feel all too real once again. There was no narrative to it. There was no plot. You couldn't even necessarily describe what it was, but it was terrifying.
Nothing stuck out in her mind, nothing that she just sort of prickling.
So, again, the screams certainly stick in your mind.
Okay.
That sulfuric smell certainly did.
Okay. But nothing visually.
Not really. You got flashes of it was like a dark red rust color.
Okay.
There were maybe flashes of people, but not anyone you recognized. Sounds again from of despair.
Okay.
And that's about all you got.
In that case, and I'm assuming she's still sharing a room with Temperance. So when Tempe wakes up, she will find an actual raven where Raven had once been. Kaylee, you're muted.
I'm muted. There we go. Raven, is that you?
Little head bob.
Does this happen a lot?
Little head bob.
Are you gonna stay like this for a while?
Little wing shrug.
All right.
And she'll fly up and land on Temperate's shoulder until she is able to shake off the feelings of the nightmare.
Takes a solid half an hour or more.
Yeah, okay. So when she goes down to talk to everybody, just Raven on her shoulder.
Raven sitting on her shoulder.
And she is obviously, I mean, being a druid, she's still her, but she's also still a raven. So she's kind of, if you're wearing earrings, she's picking at the earrings.
Am I wearing earrings? I don't remember. I think I am. I think I've got some hoops. Some shiny hoops.
The shinies.
Oh no, not the shinies.
And Raven and Temperance like wants to bat her away and then remembers that it's Raven and like pulls her hand down.
Bonnie is in the kitchen and has gotten up early and has fixed a casserole that has like cheese and eggs and sausage and bacon and probably some chives tossed in there. A few little green things, the occasional pepper or two. And she's just setting it out on the counter, and it's kind of a slice and put on your plate, you know, and you could eat it sitting down, standing up.
Family tradition. We have breakfast casserole every Christmas.
Yeah.
Yum.
And there's a thing that does for us when she does that, isn't it? If everybody eats it. It gives you two temporary
hit points.
Yum. Okay. I've got too many windows open.
And if everybody settles in, she's going to say, Temperance, dear, can you explain to us what happened yesterday and
Well,
who you are?
I can't really explain everything because there's a lot I don't know, but I will say that mask, that like crazy mask that they were wearing, that's something that I grew up around. I know that we think we mentioned before that I came from Chult, that Fennec was part of the party that brought me over here. I grew up in the middle of nowhere in Chult with a bunch of people that weren't my parents, that I knew weren't my parents, and they didn't really act like what I've learned parents act like. And a lot of them wore those masks. And maybe a year ago, I kind of escaped, and I don't really remember a lot about it. But that's the Flaming Fist found me and brought me here. And now I'm here, and I'm trying to run away. I don't want to be found by them again. I don't want to go back to that. And I thought by coming here, I would have escaped it, but I clearly haven't run far enough.
Well, in a way, it was very lucky that you had that circlet, because had any one of us had it, it might have ended very differently. But if we're going to keep it, they could sense it correctly, and they could sense your having been drawn to it. How do we protect you and it and us? Do we put it in a lead box? What do we do? Phoenix? Oh, Phoenix.
At the mention of having run away, you get just a little birdie nuzzle. I don't think it's been a half an hour yet.
Scratch. Scratch your feathers.
Oh my. Have you gotten a pet during the night?
Oh, no, I think Raven's woke up like this, and I don't really know why, because she can't talk yet. But she said that it will probably, she gave the impression that it'll probably wear off.
Can I message when I'm in wild shape?
Nope, you cannot cast spells. That's a level 20. That's a level 20 ability.
The raven flaps its wings.
I mean, hear me out though. How much difference is there between level 20 and level 4?
I'll keep it in mind when I make your combat encounters.
All right, let's do it.
Oh, no.
Listen, I made a character with a death wish. Don't threaten me with a good time.
So Bonnie shuffles off into the kitchen quickly and rumbles around through cabinets and drawers and comes back with a little bowl. She sits on the table that has sunflower seeds in it, and Sesame Street, and some peppercorns, and waves.
Love it.
Raven.
I reach into my pocket and pick out the rat that I got from the dungeon and pop it into the little bowl.
He goes to town. He is absolutely eviscerating that food, as he is just like, having the time of his life.
Neil, I had intended that for the raven. I don't want rats in my bowls. Take care of it.
I've already named him now.
Well, you didn't name him in my bowl. Get him out of there.
Yeah, but
he's
Raven
quite
doesn't
upset.
eat bird seeds.
Well, I didn't know.
She likes spicy food.
Get the rat out of my...
Raven floats over to a chair in unwild shapes?
Yeah, sure.
Drops wild shape. And she's back to being her tiny tiefling self. Very quiet, though.
Have some casserole.
She does reach for her hot sauce in her bag, though.
Phoenix digs down into his disgusting backpack and pulls out a... I have an iron pot that presumably at one point would be for cooking, but I don't think is in the condition that anything should be cooked in it. But he does set it on the table, take the bowl with the rat and the seeds and just dump it into his own pot and set the bowl back down on the table. Not to like cook them, but just like, okay, the problem was the rat was in your bowl. Well, now the rat's in my bowl. So
rat's happy.
And clearly, I don't care about the cleanliness of my bowl.
Might as well have dove in as soon as the food starts to fall.
Bonnie can't help it. She makes a mother look at both Neil and Phoenix and stomps into the kitchen with her bowl and runs it under
I
very
think Phoenix
hot water.
yawns and burps.
And I'm now sat on the floor with Phoenix's bowl pot looking at the rat.
And there's like it's like a little it's like a dune worm burrowing through the seeds.
Raven's hands are a little shaky, but she will druid craft a rat-sized collar and hand it to Neil.
We just get a quick zoom in of the burrow of the rat, and you hear.
Love it. Neil, you said you named him. What did you name him?
He's called Biff.
Biff.
If
That's a good name.
Yes. He has a half brother. His half brother is Jaff. So it's Biff and Jaff. As he pulls out the dead rat out of his other nightshirt pocket. Not to put in the pot, because I think he's intelligent enough to know that Biff is probably going to freak out at the sight of a dead rat.
Biff and Jaff, they aren't close, you know. They're not. Those brotherly ties don't run that deep. Yeah, as for the treasure or whatever they were asking about, I mean, generally, and I don't know, y'all that know more about magic might know more about this than me, but I think lead does tend to block divination, but we don't exactly know how they were tracking that, but that is an okay place to start. They said you were, he turns to Temperances, they said you were chosen? What?
I don't know. I mean, I've always been kind of, I don't know, treated special, but there weren't a lot of other kids in the compound when I grew up, and they kind of kept me there. I don't really know.
I use the word horde, which is a particular word to use. Certain creatures have hordes.
Rats tend to have hordes.
Hot slams in the kitchen.
Well, and do we have a sense of what it was they thought? I mean, they said the treasure. Do we have any idea? Obviously, we have a bunch of stuff. Only one or two of those things seems magical or important enough to track, but there's like a white mask and a magic head circlet.
Yeah, those are the only two things I would think. I do think it's interesting. They're both kind of dragon-esque, you know?
And it's fine if I wouldn't know any answer to this. Given, like, Phoenix having picked Temperance up with the Flaming Fist in Chult, does he have any idea, like, what kinds of groups are active in Chult? Like, even just the stuff that, like, did we fight people? Like, is this ringing any bells?
Actually, yes. So, about a decade ago.
Oh, boy. All right, Phoenix is, he's going, like Rain Man, as his, like, mind is, like, swimming through the fog of booze and disappointment back into his memories.
So about a decade ago, it was an event that anyone alive and in the Sword Coast would certainly have been aware of, where a cult, the Cult of the Dragon, attempted to release Tiamat from Avernus.
Okay.
And they were defeated, and Although one of her avatars did escape for a time, she was sent back to Avernus. Along with the Lord's Alliance, was tracking down the remnants of them to attempt to make sure that that would never happen again. And that was the mission that you were on.
Gotcha.
In Chult.
Okay. I mean, it makes me think it's got something to do with the cult of the dragon. A couple years ago, I don't know, 10 years or so, there was like a big cult. They tried to release Tiamat, Queen of the Dragons or whatever, from hell. And, you know, adventurers and people put a stop to that, but we were on like a mop-up mission, and I guess some of them were hiding out in the jungles of Chult, and I guess that's where we picked you up. So, and given the, I don't know, draconic imagery on these items, it seems like it's probably one of them that they were after. I mean, my guess would be the magic one. Right? Dragons and magic tend to, but
anyone who'd like can roll me a history or religion check for some more information on that.
Would does that like bring up any memories for me about imagery around where I live?
Now that it's mentioned, the dragon iconography, certainly, you may not have recognized it as dragon iconography from the outset, but as it starts getting pointed out to you, you're like, yeah, no, that actually tracks a lot. There were more dragonborn that you saw around. Along with humans and other creatures for sure. But that definitely tracks with your understanding.
Bonnie rolled a 15.
Yeah. You would know from, this actually completely makes sense, as Bonnie would have very much been alive for this. And Elturel is actually where they held some of the major conferences at the start of that to try to get people organized. It actually doesn't matter for dragons, and especially for Tiamat, if it is a magic item or not. They would see every copper piece as their property and a part of their hoard. It's yeah.
Oh, I remember hearing about that. Bonnie starts to gravitate back towards the table. As a matter of fact, my son spoke of the things that happened then. It was something he was very interested in, and I do know from stories he told that they probably considered it all their treasure, every bit of what we're dividing up. The thing I don't know is if they have the ability to be attracted to it and find us through us having it. I don't know.
Well, I mean, hopefully I've been able to deflect their attention for a bit anyway. I wish I knew more about it, then I could speak on it with some more authority, but
well, did we not?
I can remember.
Did you not say, Phoenix, that we have to make a report? Is that a part of this job? Do we report to that man every day, or?
So, Phoenix, you would know that Zaj would not want to be bothered until the job is completely done.
Okay. Yeah. But in knowing that, like he said, did he say take care of the entire cult? Like, what were our orders directly? I mean, I guess I have it in my notes here.
So your understanding is that the cult is still getting funding and they are still getting support. And you think as long as that is happening, the threat is still out there and your job is not done.
Gotcha. Yeah, so Phoenix say, well, eventually we'll have to make a report, but I don't think that the Dodgy Zaj would consider the consider the work done until the people responsible for the cult. You know, the cult ain't just the cultists, it's the people who make the cult possible. And it sounds like, you know, old what's-her-face, you know, Vantetta Vituperance or whatever, is probably has some other larger agenda she's trying to accomplish via funding this cult. Seemingly for some sort of political aims, I would guess, if she's trying to cause, you know, chaos in the city, maybe to make certain factions look bad and move in her own muscle or something. I don't really know. But chances are, as long as that tendril of funding remains unsevered, our job ain't quite over enough to report about.
So do we need to take that tunic to her? Do we put ourselves in danger to? Because we're supposed to tell her son's dead.
Or do we go, because Mortlock mentioned his brother, the one that provides a lot of the money, works out of that bar by the docks. Something about a lantern or something?
Yeah, so Amric was directly paying the cultists, and he works out of the Low Lantern. But then there was his other brother.
He was sneaky and dealt with imps.
Yeah.
Thirstwell.
Okay,
yeah.
right.
Yes, yes.
And he spies on people with imps.
Hmm.
Yes, he said they probably know what we're doing.
Maybe I could dress up as an imp and pretend.
I think
I could
we
be
need
undercover.
I think we need to gather some intel. You know, we have a couple of leads here, but if we charge off half-cocked, we're likely to step in some real shit.
Raven's kind of quiet. She's alternating between eating and working on a dream catcher. And she kind of goes, if we take the tunic to his brother who wanted him dead, he might pay us for it.
I'd be away with some information.
Well, and I think we have another piece of information here too, which is the mother is funding the cult, it seems, through one of the sons, and then having her other son work with the cult. He didn't exactly specify in what capacity, from what I could understand, right? Amric is the conduit for the funds, but the one who fled, right? Was involved somehow. I don't know if he was helping them abduct people or what his job was. But if the other two brothers are trying to kill the other one, it seems what I'm saying that it's not a unified family front, right? And not only the issue between the brothers, but there seems to be some issue between the children working at cross purposes from the mother, which we may be able to find some way to exploit.
I mean, there's also the fact that there's a hidden entrance into a cultist temple hidden in her bathhouse.
Well, we're supposed to be gathering evidence, right? We've killed a bunch of the cultists and destroyed those statues. And if we're going to accuse this high member of the city council, we need evidence. So we have evidence a little bit in that she owns the bathhouse where that secret entrance was. And if we can get more information, potentially from her sons, that tie her directly, like maybe she's instructing both of them to give money to the cultists. Maybe there's a paper trail we can find or gather.
But a lesson to be learned is that we shouldn't have a paper trail.
Well,
and if we shouldn't have one, they probably don't have a paper trail.
Well,
that's a good point.
You know, sometimes when you get up into high society and whatnot, people can get careless. Also, if there's businesses involved, they just absolutely love paper trails. And sometimes the paper trail can be what's not in the paper trail, if you take my meaning, conspicuous absences. And that sort of thing. Sometimes you can, I mean, I was never that good at this, but, you know, bean counters and smart folk sometimes can figure out a whole lot just from what's not in the ledger.
Well, I suggest that we do use the tunic as a way to approach someone, and that we go by way of the bathhouse, but not enter it, just to see, is it business as usual there today, or has it mysteriously been closed down? And then perhaps, since we have this evidence, I don't know exactly how we explain we were down underneath it. Well, we could say we stumbled in. I suppose you did stumble against the wall.
Necessarily have to say that he died there. He was just supposed to be killed. If I was looking to kill a sibling, I probably wouldn't do it in my parents' place of business.
Well, okay. It also does seem that, well, no, I think it seems like the brothers' plan was to have the cultists do it and make it look like they just turned on each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's the only thing I can imagine. So if we're going to approach the brother, we may have to pass ourselves off as cultists. But we don't exactly know what their relationship is. I will say this, the bar that he operates is one where I'm known to frequent. So I don't think my turning up there would cause too much of a fuss.
Would it?
And for what it's worth, he doesn't actually operate the bar. The captain operates the bar, but he operates out of the bar.
Gotcha.
His little money lending business is on one of the lower levels there. They kind of, he has a,
here's a
you
question.
would know that he and the captain have like a bit of a.
Yeah, here's a question. Do I currently owe him any money?
Probably not,
Okay.
because that, if you currently owed him money, that would have been something that was very forefront of your mind. He's not the person you want to owe money for for extended periods of time. Even Phoenix would have never stayed in debt with him for more than a couple of weeks.
Gotcha.
Is it going to help or hurt us approaching him if you're known there and you're known to work for the Flaming Fist?
I mean, the Flaming Fist are as crooked as a dog's hind legs, so I don't particularly see that to be a problem. If also he's wealthy and powerful, so I don't think it would. He certainly ain't. I'll tell you, he ain't afraid of us. Whatever that relationship looks like that I might not know about.
I've also never heard that particular turn of phrase before, and I'm going to write that one down. And she'll take out her journal and write it down.
You're not suggesting you go in alone.
Oh, no. Definitely not.
Who would be the less conspicuous to take with you? I'm guessing not Bonnie.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do think if we all turn up in a big group. The other thing is that, we don't precisely know the nature of the relationship between the stuff goings on under the bathhouse and the management of the bathhouse vis-a-vis, Vituperative Ant Squad or whatever her name is. So what I'm merely trying to point out, our description may have been circulated to Big Mama. Thalmera, that's what it is. It's all coming back to me now.
I was really enjoying all the different names.
So, there is a chance that a party matching our description could be persona non grata in certain sectors.
Well, there was someone, wasn't there someone in the room when you found the door?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But, we can't sit here all day hiding out.
No,
You
it's
know
not.
that they don't even open until like 6 p.m. It's one of those places.
Well, I do think it would be a good idea just to what would be the word? Neil, help me to just wander by, not necessarily go in, but just wander by the bathhouse to see if business as usual. It also occurs to me that an approach to one of the brothers or the wife the mother could possibly be that we that their son Montrak, or whatever that name was, as somehow we're looking for him. We could try that too. We don't have to present the tunic. I know we told him that, but we could present ourselves as looking for him, that the Iron Fist is looking for him, and see if that would
Let's
open
not
any
draw
doors.
attention to the person who wanted to flee a situation.
Oh, you think not?
No.
Well, showing
If
up.
he needs to get away from his family, he needs to get away and find peace.
It's awfully hard when you leave your family, though, and you just go off and leave them, and you don't ever send a message or let them know that you're safe, or that you might come back, or that you might ever see them again. You just have no idea the kind of pain and panic that causes for a family.
Well, you don't have any idea what it causes for the person who has to run.
Well, it's a difficult thing being in a family.
It is.
I wouldn't know.
Oh yeah, it's god awful.
Families are pretty rubbish.
Have an entire community look at you like you're evil just because you're born a certain way.
You go around the community, you beg anyone, have you seen them? Have you heard from them? Do you know anything about them? And they just look at you like, well, it's not our problem.
Yeah, and the community goes, oh, good riddance.
Well, they don't help the family either.
And sometimes, in some certain situations, not speaking from any particular experience, but obviously from the understanding of the discussion that we had with the gentleman, is there's sometimes some family members wish to kill other family members for reasons unbeknownst to them.
I cannot imagine. I cannot imagine. Bonnie turns away. She has her apron up to her face, and she's over the kitchen sink.
Raven's gonna take what was allotted to her and leave. She's gonna go find a tattoo parlor.
All right, well, seems like that's a touchy subject.
Families tend to be touchy subjects. I must say goblins aren't particularly well known for being good family members. Maybe we just investigate the different possibilities, and maybe you and Temperance could speak to the gentleman at the lantern.
Oh, I suppose.
Bonnie and I could come with you, and maybe, we just do something a little bit different along the way, because I do have some things that I need to, procure.
Am I hearing shopping episode?
Yes.
Right.
All right. So where is it? So obviously Neil wants to go to Magic-y Shop.
Yes.
Raven wants to go to Tattoo Shop. Is there anywhere else people would like to go?
I think Temperance would want to she would have watched the door for a few minutes, and as soon as the conversation came to a lull, she probably would have gone up to follow Raven.
Okay.
I think Phoenix has God knows how many tankards of whatever burning a hole in his pocket.
Well, the problem is the place you go for
measuring it in gold. He measures it in how many tankards will this gold buy.
The thing is, your usual haunt seems to be
I shout out the door just as Temperance is leaving. Make sure we meet back somewhere. Meet back here at 3.
Okay. All right.
She'll point her finger backwards and message back. Got it. I'll try to find Raven.
Gotcha. Raven has shorter legs, so it doesn't take you too long to catch up with her.
I don't think Temperance says anything. I think she just catches up to her and walks next to her.
All right. And then Bonnie, what is it that you would like to do?
Well, Bonnie has stormed around the kitchen, slammed a few pans, shed some tears because she's remembering her past. But I think she looks around. If I don't know if anyone's left. Is Neil still there, or Neil?
Yeah, Neil wouldn't go shopping without money.
She would say, Neil, I'm sorry. I was overwhelmed for a moment. So why don't we go if there's something you need to get, and for goodness sakes, put your hat on. But let's go by way of the bathhouse. We won't go in, but I would just like to know, and I think everyone would, is it just business as usual there, or has anything happened that's visible? And then we'll go on shopping. So that would be Bonnie's plan. Go check out, not to go in and start anything, but just to see, did anything change because we were in there?
All right.
Phoenix, are you coming with us, or are you waiting till a bar has opened?
Waiting. It's always 5 o'clock somewhere, Neil. And in Baldur's Gate, somewhere's everywhere.
We might feel safer, Phoenix, if you went with us.
Do they sell booze where you're going?
Well, we're going shopping. I don't think there's any market anywhere in the world that doesn't have a bar with a little bit of something. It might not be one you're used to visiting.
I need to go to an arcane supply shop, so I'm sure that there is bound to be some form of educated bar in that locale.
Drinking with
it's just Phoenix's style.
Right. Well, I guess I can't go to my usual place on account of, maybe they want me dead. So why not?
Okay. Let's go over to Raven. First, Raven and Temperance, as they're kind of trotting down towards... if you're looking for a tattoo parlor, I actually am not quite sure where that would be. Depends on what kind of tattoo you're looking for. You can always find some down by the harbor for the sailors. And there might be some other places as well as some of the religious organizations would also provide tattoos.
I don't know if it would necessarily be religious, but definitely druidic. Is that a word?
Druidic?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's it. That's a word. Mm-hmm. Because it will eventually be a magical tattoo. So she'll need, but it's sort of a druid thing, so she'll look for someone with that sort of speciality.
Gotcha. That might be fairly hard to find here. That's especially with the druidic bent. That would be a bit difficult.
She's going for a full back tattoo, and this is just the start. So she'd settle for maybe if the religious institution that is connected to Helm.
Gotcha. Helms would definitely not do tattoos. That's not really a part of there. That would not be a part of that. If you are trying to go the magical route, you could always talk to some of the magic shops around.
Okay.
You are familiar with the most famous place in town, a place by the name of Sorceress Sundries, that is the largest magic shop in town, and would be the place that if you were looking for anything magic related, that is where you would go.
Okay. She will go very appreciative of having Temperance with her, but still kind of quiet. Go there and kind of explain what she wants, which is basically from the 9-pointed star on her back, which she's always had, and she doesn't quite realize it's significant yet. She will have a dream catcher slowly kind of built around it.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Okay.
And then with each level up, it gets bigger and bigger.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. So, as you get there, you walk into the shop. I believe I have some music for Magic Item Shop too. Let's see if I can find that. Nope. Oh, I should probably, here we go. I'll just do this. As you walk into the magic store, it is quite bustling. There are people all over the place. And as you walk up to the counter, you see this shimmering figure standing there. Hello! I am a projection, here to help you. What is it that I may help you with for Sorcerer Sundries?
So it's like a magical projection?
Mm-hmm.
She can't help but just go like this.
Yeah, it goes right through.
Kind of, this minute you see a hologram, you kind of go.
Yeah. And after a minute say, hello, I'm a magical projection, here to assist you at Sorcerer Sundries. What can I help you with?
Magical tattooing?
Ah, yes, magical tattooing. That is something that we provide. Which sort of magical tattoo are you looking for? We have a whole assortment. As he waves his hand and a book appears in front of you. There is the absorbing tattoos, there is the barrier tattoos, the ghost step, the life well. Oh, even the illuminators.
I'm suddenly not sure.
Well, what are you looking for it to do?
Protection? Spell focus?
Well, there is always a spell. Yes, well, we could always do a spell rot tattoo that would allow you to cast a spell from the tattoo. And on top of that, we could also do the barrier tattoo, which would allow you, which would function sort of like an arcane protection.
That.
Excellent. Certainly. And what sort of protection would you like? We have some modest protection, some advanced, and some highly capable protections.
Highly?
All right. Yes. The I see. The full tattoo. Let's see. That will cost approximately 15,000 gold.
Wow.
Okay. I don't have that much.
Oh, well, unfortunate.
Let's start off smaller.
Well, the basic one would be about 150 gold.
That I can do.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right. So, as this way, please, and he kind of brings you. And where would you like this tattoo, and what form would you like it to take?
Are you doing it, or a physical person?
I am doing it, of course.
This isn't how it's done at home. And I pull out a sheet of paper that sort of got the her idea of what she wants, which is the dream catcher with raven feathers and her horns kind of associated into it.
Gotcha. And where would you like this?
On my back, and she just takes her top off and...
He's completely, absolutely unfazed by it. Excellent. He just kind of turns you around, and he takes the piece of paper, presses it on your back, he waves his hand, after collecting the money, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And he casts a spell. You feel the prickles across your back. It takes a few minutes, but you may add a common barrier tattoo to your inventory.
Nice.
So what this does, this makes your AC 12 plus your dex modifier, and you do not have to wear armor for it.
Cool.
Yep, you do have to attune to it, though.
Yep. I've got plenty of slots.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, as the case may be, a few minutes later, in walks Nil and company, as Sorceress Sundries is also the place where they would want to be going.
Are Temperance and Raven like behind a curtain or anything, or is poor Bonnie just
no,
walking in?
Listen, you bared clean in front of God and everyone, and he didn't move it. He would have done it had you asked, but you just kind of like, all right, and then.
Well, she's used to the way they're done back home, which is traditional tattooing.
There are definitely a few people around who were taken aback, but it wasn't him. He was like, whatever, he didn't care at all. Yeah.
There you go. There's that sunset orange chest for you.
Dinner and a show.
So, as you see the rather exposed Raven, as the three of you walk in, you do see, although he is working there, it seems like another version of him has appeared, directly standing where the original was. Hello! Welcome to Sorceress Sundries. I am an arcane projection, here to assist you.
Neil kind of walks by, like, cupping his hand across his eye as he goes past. I'm sure that it's generally, like, common decency to allow people to cover up when they're getting whatever
Raven
that is
just
on their
rolls her
back.
eyes. They're just breasts, Neil. Chill.
Well, fair.
City folk.
I'm looking to purchase. Do you say that loud enough for him to hear?
Yep.
He just turns to you and in Goblin says, I've lived in the city for less than half of my life. I am not a city folk.
And she replies, then stop acting like one.
Oh.
It's natural.
He straightens himself up and, in continuing in Goblin, says, well, I think you find I'm a little more refined than my brethren.
That is true. You've known enough goblins to know that is certainly the case.
And politely turns to the projection. Please, may I purchase some arcane scribing equipment? I have some spells that I need to transfer.
Of course. How much? And you work out the finer details for however much as you want to expend. So you know how much gold it costs. So go ahead and expend
50,
it as
50 gold per
spell level, I believe.
Per spell level.
Mm-hmm. And half. Well, no, you're chronomancy, so it'd be half for chronomancy spells, but I don't think you have any. So.
Yeah, for graviturgy.
Graviturgy, yeah.
No, that's fine. I would turn to Bonnie and Phoenix and just with widest eyes. I seem to be 1 gold short.
All right, dear. I can help with that. And Bonnie would give him a gold.
I love it.
Thanks, Bonnie. Please may I purchase two sets of first level spell equipment.
And he slides it to you.
Thank you. And I hand over 100 gold, which leaves Neil with literally nothing.
Impecunious.
Well, sorry, not nothing. I have 5 silver.
Okay. Did anyone else need any sorts of sundries? Is it Sorceress Sundries after all?
Not for me, thank you.
Okay.
You sell booze here?
I have this, and he turns around and he says, "This could provide you with booze."
What am I looking at?
So it is it's like, this is an alchemist jug. It allows you to produce an amount of basically any sort of liquid that you would like for a certain amount. You could even procure up to 2 gallons of mayonnaise in a day.
What? Let's see. What kind of, you said just about any kind of liquid.
Absolutely.
Does it do beer?
Of course it does beer. Any sort you like.
What any sort I like, so.
Yes. I believe beer, you could create up to 4 gallons a day.
So,
So
could it
true.
do Detranian Baylor Ale, or?
What sort of question is this? Would it be Baldur's
It's
Gate?
an important question, sir.
Phoenix, I'm sure you're aware that that is just a projection.
I ain't taking no guff from nobody, Neil. Not when it comes to this. All right, well, how much you want for it?
This item is 100 gold.
I think you all watch Phoenix's heart just break in his chest.
Aw.
Perhaps another time.
Neil turns around to Phoenix and goes into his little pouch and pulls out the 5 silver he has remaining. Is this helpful?
No, Neil, it's not.
Sorry.
Probably for the best. You wouldn't want to dull your lightning reflexes and that quick.
Actually, I do have a
incisive
question.
brain of yours.
Do y'all
Yes.
do y'all buy magical items by any chance?
Yes, we do. Absolutely. Yes, yes, we both buy and sell.
This is Phoenix looks directly at Bonnie, reaches into his pack, and pulls out one of the 4 healing potions he has. How much would I get for this?
Okay, so a healing potion is it 25 or 50 gold for a healing potion?
It says 50 on my sheet, so I don't know what.
Okay, so if it's 50, then it's 50. So he'll give you 25 gold for each one.
I'd like to sell one of these, please.
Well, of course, yes. We could take that towards the cost of the item if that's what you're looking for.
It certainly is.
All right.
Okay. So that would put him over 100 gold pieces.
Love it.
And so he will spend the 100 gold
You got it.
to get the alchemy jug.
Yep, you've got it.
Okay, so that's
Bonnie makes a frowny face and says in an aside to Neil, "I'm not sure this is a good idea."
I still have.
Just think of
some
how
gold
much
left.
mayonnaise we can have.
I
Wait, anyone
don't
would want
think
that
that's
much
what he
mayonnaise.
will be using it for, but it's a good point you make, Neil. Do you need to pull your hat down?
Especially if we can make duck mayonnaise. That'll get the cash back.
Boiled egg mayonnaise even more.
When the projection is finished with Raven's tattoo, Temperance will ask, how much would it be for a tattoo that helps you hide yourself?
Which one is that?
The masquerade tattoo.
And what okay, that's
It's a
common,
common.
right? Okay, so for a common, that would only be that would be definitely less. So I think that's 50 gold for common. Yeah, because it's 100 for uncommon. So
You said it prickled, but did it feel like an actual tattooing?
yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, they took a needle and poked you and then just held it there, but it felt like all of the needles were poking you at one time.
Oof.
Okay.
All at once. I think I would like that.
Okay. Yes. And where would you like the tattoo? Did you wish to disrobe like her?
I don't think I need to. And she'll kind of pull up her sleeves and she'll get one of those. I already forgot the name of the knife. Like what the
Yikuwas?
spiritual weapons? Yeah, one of those.
Yeah.
On just like the inside of her forearm.
Yeah, absolutely. And Certainly. And it takes about it probably took about an hour or two to do yours, Raven, but as that one's fairly large. But yours only takes about 15-20 minutes, Temperance, to get to the masquerade tattoo.
Since it felt like an actual tattooing, there's a definite difference in her demeanor. She's happier, I guess, or at least not as triggered.
Yeah.
Relaxed.
Phoenix is drinking beer straight out of the jug.
It is good beer too, like some of the best beer you have ever had. By the way, this thing weighs 12 pounds, so it's actually the alchemist jug's pretty heavy, honestly.
I mean, if it can hold 4 gallons of something.
Wait,
I think there's some things it can hold up to 12 gallons of salt water.
Would come in handy.
So, anyone else looking to purchase anything?
Nope, I am now broke.
Bonnie's looking out the front door.
Yeah,
She's
same.
Uninterested.
Okay. All right. Well, that does take you a few hours to accomplish all of that and look around. It's quite an interesting place. Yes. And yes, of course. If you get any information about the night song, we of course have a wonderful prize in reward for any information.
The night song? Did I miss something?
Nope. Just a personal interest of the curator.
Temperance is going to write that down in her journal as well.
Gotcha. Yeah, none of you have ever heard of the night song.
And who would we share this information with if we get it?
Me, of course.
Is it something that's missing?
Yes, of a sort.
Is it a thing, or is it literally a musical presentation?
Sounds like you'll have to learn more about it in order to make sure that you can earn the reward.
Well, how would we do that, dear fellow?
However you can. If I knew, I wouldn't be paying money for it, now would I?
Interesting. Well, thank you so much for your information, and well, what a lovely shop you have. I've enjoyed being here. I hope you have a fine day. Of course you have.
It's the most wonderful shop in all of Baldur's Gate.
That's all Bonnie has. Do we leave? And did we go by the...
Yeah, so you did swing by. It seemed... it was probably a little less busy than it had been before, but it seemed to be open again.
It's up and running. Okay, that was all I wanted to know.
Yep.
Well, we would share that with Raven and Temperance. Apparently, they didn't shut the thing down. Whatever happened underneath it.
Business as usual.
Would have been suspicious otherwise.
That's true.
So do we all go to this bar on the boat?
Yeah, well, that seems like a good idea, but also we should maybe when we get there, not enter all together right at once and sit in a couple different tables or something.
Did we establish what time the bar opens? I can't quite remember.
Afternoon.
Right.
Well, are we to that point, or do we still have a little extra time, or where?
You could have a little bit of time before it opens, but if you started heading that way, by the time you got there, it would probably be open. It'd be pretty early, so probably likely not very busy.
Raven sticks close to Temperance.
Raven, shall we, as we walk around the city, shall we find another tattoo parlor? Just one that maybe does regular tattoos, see if there's one that's not like by the docks where all the sailors go. I can't imagine that's the cleanest.
That definitely wasn't the way I'm used to them being done.
No, when I got the ones that I have, it took a lot longer.
Mm-hmm. A lot more pinpricks. Maybe it's just another one of those things they do differently in the larger cities. Like city leaders who want to help and sabotage at the same time.
That's true. But, I mean, it's also, I mean, I've never had a magical tattoo before, so maybe that's the way all the magical tattoos are.
I'm not sure. These are just, they're familial, not really magical.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I got mine when I was a lot younger, and you'll see she has like, she'll pull down her shirt a little bit and you can see just the edges of like what looks like a crescent moon, like on her chest. I've had mine for a lot longer.
Got my first one when we came of age. It's just something we did back home.
That's kind of nice. I don't really remember when I got mine, but I don't really remember a lot, so.
And you know, as you look down at your tattoo, it's odd because you thought it was a crescent, but it definitely looks different than what you remember. As it seems to, it started like, it looked like moon shaped, but now there are these offshoots.
Well, I've definitely never noticed that before.
Does your tattoo change?
Never noticed it to before, but there's a lot of things that are new these days. I wonder, do you think it has anything to do with that crown?
Maybe. My mother's tattoos would sort of move with certain spells when she used her staff, and she twirls the staff.
I've never noticed mine move or shift before, but I've also, to be honest, not really looked at it that closely.
Do you know if they had a purpose for you in that compound?
As you look, you now see that instead of just a crescent, it looks like a claw. You see the crescent, but it looks like a claw.
Am I seeing it move?
No. It's not moving. It's just you're recognizing what it looks like.
Oh.
Okay.
Weird. I mean, I assumed that they did, but they never told me if I was there for a purpose or not, or what it was, if I was. There wasn't really anybody else like me there, so like I said, there's no other kids growing up. It was mostly adults that I remember anyway. And there was not, I mean, you and Bonnie and Neil and even Phoenix were describing very strong feelings about family, positive and negative, and I never really had any of that. Unless it was receiving anger or punishment or instruction or things like that. But not worry or resentment or disappointment, like none of that, those sorts of feelings that imply that people care, like about you and who you are.
I can get that in a way. It's not easy being different from everybody else. It's not easy having expectations or doubts thrown your way.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It definitely sounds like you need, well, a bit of protection, maybe? Those men didn't seem very kind or sane.
Well, honestly, some of the way they talked was a bit familiar. Not the words necessarily, but the, the tone, the attitude.
Mm-hmm. Reverence that you don't exactly know what to do with.
Mm-hmm.
Or a lack thereof.
Yeah. But now I want to look more closely at this tattoo next time we are at a place that's appropriate.
Oh, mine's unfinished. It needs detailing, so we'll find something along the way. Thank you for walking with me, by the way.
Thank you for listening.
And after
if
a while...
anybody tries to hurt you, I'll have Cleo bite them.
Well, tell Cleo thank you in advance.
And she kind of sticks her head out and tongue clicks.
After a while, you guys do make your way to this bar. Now, as you see at the end of the map, or end of the, I don't know what it's called, at the very front of the ship. The
Prow?
That
bow.
thing. Bow. Well, I know that's the bow, but what is the, like, they'll have like a thing that sticks out from it. You know what I mean?
The figurehead. Figurehead.
Masthead, yeah, okay. From the figurehead, which isn't ornate or anything, you do see a lantern hanging on the end of it with a green glow, which does indicate the bar is open. All right. Fog obscures the low lantern until you get within 100 feet of it, whereupon its tall mass and creaking bulk come into view. The converted ship has no rigging and no sails, and is anchored to the wharf by thick chains. A wooden staircase climbs from the wharf's edge to the main deck. A lantern at the bow casts an eerie green glow to signify the tavern is open for business.
Well, like I was saying, I think we should go in, maybe two at a time. Or in two groups, sit slightly apart from each other.
Yeah.
I have a feeling Neil wants to go with you.
All right.
Maybe.
Yeah. As you walk up the gangway, you do notice, oddly, that there are, 4 or 5 dead seagulls just sitting on the deck as you walk in.
That's not normal, is it?
You've seen it before, but there's more than usual.
Is there anything particularly notable about the seagull corpses?
You can make a nature check.
I'm assuming, just to establish, that the two groups we've split into is me and Phoenix have gone together, and the three of you have gone together.
Sure.
It's a 5. I'm a druid with a +0 in nature.
Yeah.
Brutal.
That's unfortunate.
Well, I mean, I think Phoenix is good to just walk in like usual. His whole thought process is business as usual as far as, how he's comporting himself.
Yeah. And as you walk in, you see the captain with her little crab on her shoulder. Phoenix, it's good to see ya. She greets you quite warmly. It's been half a 10 days since I've seen ya.
Oh, yeah, you know how it is. The fist has got me crawling all over the place doing whatever nonsense, but pay came in, so here I am.
Excellent, excellent. You looking for your regular?
Oh, you know it.
She starts to pour out a extra large tankard, and you see this little kinku holding it with both hands comes and brings it to you.
I'm gonna like climb up the bar stool to sit like up on the bar, next to Phoenix.
I think as the three of us go in, I would look for maybe a table away from where Neil and Phoenix are.
Yeah, easy enough. So there are multiple levels. So basically,
within eyesight, but
yeah. So you're on the first level of the tavern. There are 3 levels, not including the deck, the top deck, where not a whole lot of drinking occurs.
I probably want to stay on the same level as them.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all know that Bonnie would stand out like a sore thumb in her pretty pink and blue and white outfit and the apron and all of that, because she didn't know she was gonna end up here, so she's just trying to look nonchalant, like that she hangs out in places like this all the time. Probably has a smile on her face.
I think kind of realizing that that Bonnie's kind of sticking out, I think Temperance would prestidigitation just a little, like dirt on the hem of her skirt and maybe like some smudges to make her like stand out.
Bonnie would never have done that to herself willingly. So she's going to pretend not to notice.
That's so
very
funny.
soft. Not such a big smile. They might think that you're offering something you don't want to be offering.
Oh, I didn't bring any cookies or anything.
People think I'm naive.
Phoenix would like to look around and see if I can spot, I guess, whatever corner of this place this guy holds up in, or if he runs it
He's
out
at
of
a
like,
lower level. He is at the he usually keeps himself down at level 2. So the lounge deck. You're on the tavern deck. 1 level down is the lounge deck, which is where he likes to spend his time.
Gotcha.
I would look over the top of the bar as best as I could at the captain. I would have like an absolute shitty grin right now. Big, all of the teeth are showing, including the one shiny tooth that gets taken out. Excuse me, how much would it be for one of those? And point to exactly what Phoenix has got.
2 silver.
Oh, I have 2 of those. And I like pull 2 silver out of my pouch and just slide it across the bar.
Yeah, they take it. A kinku brings it over. It is about half the size of you.
Love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I guess in that case, Phoenix would like to get up and slowly make his way down to the next level, to the lounge area.
Easy enough.
God. I've got to carry this with me. I'm just like slowly like bobbing along behind Phoenix.
Like a toddler with like a cup.
Yeah, basically.
Puppy! As
Every
you make
now
your
and again,
way, you see Amric Vanthaper
Oh.
as he is sitting enjoying what seems to be a glass of wine and has several people who are around him. This whole cabin is full of mismatched wooden furniture and a lot of that sort of accoutrement. And as you see him, he's counting out some gold pieces with, I believe, 6 assorted people around him in different places. Some of them are sitting next to him, others are on the bar behind him. You would know, Finnick, that these are his lackeys.
Yeah, of course. And are they, like, is it otherwise empty, or is it relatively crowded? Are there a few people?
There's a couple people in here, but it's early in the evening. It is not busy.
Gotcha. I think Phoenix's plan, hoping that the other crew has seen him and is savvy enough to, like, wait a few minutes and then maybe come down and find their own places. I think Phoenix is going to take Neil to, like, some other place in the room, you know, a place where, like, Amric's crew is, like, visible. Not that he's, like, making a point of staring at them or anything, but just, like, find a place to sit down and wait before approaching until...
There's nowhere where you can't see them.
Yeah.
He has basically taken the whole back end of this place and put 2 couches around, like, a coffee table, which is where he conducts business. And you have been on that in that area before as you worked out some deals.
Yeah. So Phoenix is gonna, like, just sit and wait for a bit, drinking his drink. And he's not just, like, blasting through it because he's, you know, got an infinite jug of booze now, so he doesn't have to.
Yeah, gotcha.
He doesn't have to.
I mean, I'm certainly not blasting through it. It's half the size of me.
Okay.
I think after a couple of minutes, after they go upstairs, Temperance would turn to the others and just say, well, shall we get a drink and maybe see what else is around here? And get up and head to the bar to order something.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, yes. Since
You
they
do
didn't
so.
come to our table.
Yeah. You do so and eventually make your way down to the other level where you also see Amric. And although you didn't know him, you immediately peg who he is. No insight check required. He is the guy who is obviously doing some sort of shady business. And
So I assume we got drinks at the bar and are
yeah, you got your
to sit
drinks and you gotta go
somewhere.
down a level. There's plenty of seats
Cinnamon
around.
whiskey.
You got it.
Cinnamon whiskey.
I think Bonnie
Yeah, they
got wine.
So the cinnamon whiskey is actually pretty terrible. It seems like they just gave you whiskey and then stuck a cinnamon stick in it.
God.
Zoinks.
Gross. I think.
Listen, you're not
Temperance
at you're not at the world's most high class establishment. They don't do a whole lot of mixed drinks here. That's an elf song thing.
Yeah. I think Temperance would just get the same ale that Phoenix got.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, Phoenix, you notice as everyone starts to gather.
Yeah. I guess he's gonna wait a couple more minutes to make it not seem like he was waiting for those other people to come down here, right? Oh man. And then I guess he's going to approach the guy. There's not much else, you know. It's like, well, before we go over there, like you said, they're sitting there counting money. Is there anything different I notice about his or his like lackeys' demeanor from like in general when I've been here in the past?
No, nothing at all. They seem to be totally normal. Yeah.
Okay.
I am pretty much glued to Phoenix's side at this point, by the way. So if you're getting up, I'm getting up too.
Yeah. All right. I guess Phoenix is just gonna go over and say, excuse me there, Amric. How's business?
Phoenix! Business is always good in the city. Did you get a little in over your head playing Baldur's Bones again? Please, sit.
Yeah, Phoenix will sit down.
I'd offer you a drink, but it looks like you and your friend have already been covered. I don't believe I've had the pleasure of meeting you before.
I stretch out a hand up over the table as far as I possibly can in the politest manner possible.
Yeah.
My name is Neil, Sir Neil Boggs.
It is great to meet you, one Neil, as he shakes your hand quite gingerly. Respectfully, though.
Well, you asked if I got him in over my head playing Bones again, and Not exactly as such, no. I wanted to ask you, I'd heard a rumor about some goings on, and I was a bit curious if you'd heard anything.
Of course, of course. Now, information is not always free, but I'm always happy to hear the proposition for free.
Well, certainly, just tell me, what the cost might be, but we'd, Dodgy Zodge, right?
Of course. Oh,
Well,
what a buffoon.
yeah.
He thinks he's running the Flaming Fist. It's quite hilarious, actually.
Yeah, he's got me looking into this, some weird cult business. And, well, we were chasing down leads, and the rumor I came up with was something to the effect that they were running out of a bathhouse.
Odd.
Yeah. Now, of course, I was, looking into that. You know me, I'm not one to run someplace without
a drink.
Without a drink, and without finding out whose toes I might be stepping on. And this is perhaps a tad impolite, but your family's name came up as owning the place, and I said to myself, well, I ain't going in there, without checking to see what's what.
Well, I always appreciate the gravity you give such matters. I believe my mother owns a bathhouse somewhere in the city. I'm not terribly aware of it. I don't work much with my mother's goings-on. She kind of does her thing and I do mine.
Oh, God, I'm going to fail this badly, but, I know that that's not true, right? So, insight check, I guess, but...
Yeah, you can make the insight check,
sure.
But this is fairly low DC.
Yeah. Watch me fail it. We're running up the wrong hill, guys. I'm completely convinced. Amric's our best friend now.
Woo!
Sorry, it's taking a while for this thing to roll.
It's all good.
14.
14. Man, you already knew he was lying.
Yeah.
Just by the circumstances of it, you knew he was lying. But you aren't sure how much he does or doesn't know. Yeah. It's impossible to get a read on exactly how much he does or doesn't know at the moment.
Yeah. So I guess given the way that I've kind of presented this, what I would go on to say then is, well, so I certainly understand that your family are very busy, very important people, of course, and I suppose you can see sort of the predicament I'm in, just trying to ascertain what kind of a hornet's nest I might be being directed to kick, if you take my meaning.
Well, I can assure you, my mother never likes it when people poke into her private affairs. It is always best to avoid that, if at all possible. I can take it up with old Zodge and make sure that it isn't an issue anymore. I'm sure that Mother can take care of it.
Interesting. Oh, boy.
So was that the whole reason you came here, was to discuss your investigations and give me such a kind warning?
Mr. Amric, sir.
Yes.
As we've obviously been asked by Zodge to just have a look into this, do you think, and obviously Phoenix has obviously given you some insight into obviously what we happened upon. Do you think that it would be possible for us to maybe just have a chat with your mom, and just talk to her about it and see her side of things, just so we can establish what path we need to take and whether we just need to, I guess, lay the scent away from
I am sure that as much as I appreciate your discretion in the matter, she is a very busy woman, especially with Grand Duke Older Ravengard gone. She has taken over many of the duties. I don't believe she would have time to look into frivolous investigations that I'm sure are baseless.
Oh,
do we notice any of the goons kind of getting itchy or antsy?
Not at the moment. They seem to be pretty comfortable.
Okay.
I did hear one other rumor, you know, as we were poking around. Your brother,
As soon as you mention his brother, his demeanor sours a bit.
Mortlock, was it?
Yes, my oaf of a brother Mortlock. I'm sorry that you were forced to be acquainted with his existence.
Well, it's precisely the matter of his existence that I wanted to bring to your attention. Well, what I heard was that perhaps, I can't think of a way to put this. There are some questions as to the continuation of said existence.
Yes, unfortunately, I heard about the tragic accident. Our family is, of course, devastated.
Right, of course.
And just out of curiosity, what was said tragic accident? Obviously, we haven't heard any more than Phoenix has said.
Oh, well, I heard he got into a bar fight over a game of Baldur's Bones, punched someone he shouldn't have, and the flaming fist put him out of his misery.
Could I insight him?
You don't have to, you know it's a lie.
Oh, no, as in, what I'm meaning is that what he's been told, or is that he
okay, yeah, go ahead and make
that's
that
a lie?
Does he believe it, basically?
Yeah.
Gotcha, yeah.
Obviously, I know it's not true. Oh, that's only an 8.
You have no idea. No clue.
Oh, actually, can I use a luck roll?
Of course.
It's been a minute since I've done it. I'm just going to double check. I just re-roll again, don't I?
Yep.
Nat 1.
Oh,
Well, you know.
brutal.
Yeah. Sounds like it was meant to be. I mean, you could use another luck point if you want.
Or
I'll tell you what,
inspiration?
actually, I'm going to use my chat inspiration.
Okay.
Because I've got it and I've never used it yet. So thank you, chat. Hopefully this one works. Oh my
Can't
god,
get any
that's
worse.
an 8.
The dice are clear.
You were
Bye,
just
chat.
not meant to know
No.
this.
I think Phoenix feels like this is one of the only leads we currently have. Obviously, this guy is a pretty smooth operator.
Smooth operator.
I guess. I literally don't know what the next step is if we get nothing out of this guy.
Yeah, I was trying to think of,
know.
because I could send a message to you and with questions, but I can't think of anything else to ask.
Yeah, I mean, so basically where I'm at, the only other thing I know to do is to just, kick shit off. Not like I'm going to attack this guy, but ask him something extremely inflammatory, right? Let me ask you this. Obviously, socially, that's a huge problem for us, right? We've already kind of possibly kicked this hornet's nest, but I think being found, kicking that hornet's nest and then kicking this one is a lot of hornet's nests to kick. What would Phoenix understand about this guy? First of all, about this guy's, physical fighting abilities and his friend's physical fighting abilities.
You have never seen him fight at any point. Okay. His friends, you've seen shake down some people for sure. Okay. But you've never seen them like in a knockdown, drag out to the death fight.
Okay, so I've seen his friends shaking people down. Do I have a sense? Do they seem to me like these are just like your average tough guys, or do I think that they're like
insight check at advantage because of your fighting skills?
Okay.
How many goons are there?
6.
6. Okay.
Sorry, this is my stuff is running super slow tonight. It's gonna take me a second.
If we don't want to pick a fight, I could send Cleo down and we could eavesdrop on what they say after we leave.
I'm looking at an 18 with advantage.
Okay, so most of them look like normal people, but one of them is just giving you the ick. One of the people behind him looks like it looks like a human, but there's just something about the way he's carrying himself, something about him that is unnerving.
Okay, well,
would Raven have said something like that? Like, okay, then Temperance is going to surreptitiously, like, under the table point in Fennec's direction and say, Cleo could spy on them after we leave if we think that would be useful.
Yeah, I think that's probably better than what Fenix was planning. So Fenix is going to silently respond via the message spell that sounds like a plan. And he's going to say, well, listen, I appreciate your understanding. And, of course, we would take it kindly if you would speak to Zaj and, well...
Of course, you know that I wouldn't want you to get in over your head.
Exactly. And he sort of, like, stands up, right? And it just sort of, like, this guy's probably taller than I am sitting down. Right, and he's like, exactly, and it ain't hard to do, right?
And he gives you just kind of a curt nod.
And yeah, I'm gonna take Neil and head back for the stairs.
Yeah. Before I leave, I do turn around to him, extend a hand again. Mr. Amric, sir, once again, it has been a pleasure meeting you.
While Neil has his attention, I will have Cleo slither in so she's sort of unseen under where they are, and then grab Temperance her forearms and I can't see you right now.
Gotcha. So as you go upstairs, you notice from the corner that there was someone sitting there. You didn't pay much attention to them, but Phoenix, they stand up and walk to you, and you hear the clank of armor. And as one hand rests on the hilt of a longsword, the other one pulls back her hood and reveals a face that you certainly are not familiar with. She's young. You don't know how young. With brown skin and red hair. She simply says, "You were talking to Amric."
Yeah.
I might have some questions for you.
Okay. Perhaps not here.
And she seems a little taken aback. Well, I mean, it is of great import, and we must. My name is. She looks around. I'm Rhea Mantlemorn. I'm a Hell Rider from El Turel. And I think that's where we will end for the evening.
Oh, cliffhanger.
Oh,
cliffhanger.
And we're still like a little bit in a different place in that.
You're just up at the tavern level as opposed to the lounge level.
So we didn't hear this, did we?
No.
Okay.
Oh my. Well, we of course will be picking that back up in a couple of weeks. We're gonna do our usual sign off, folks. Thank you all so much for hanging out. And we'll go looking for somebody to raid. In the meantime, everyone, if you could please remind folks who you are, where you can be found on the internet, and who you played tonight. I guess DocRobert, if you want to jump in and then throw it around.
I'm DocRobert. Robbie, I've been your GM for the evening, playing everybody that isn't these 5 wonderful figures. We will move it back over to Pixel.
Hi there, folks. My name is Pixel. I have been Phoenix Brightgrin, the Dwarven Barbarian and alcoholic, selling healing potions for booze. You can also find me here on twitch.tv/hammerpixel, and next week we will be restarting here on the AOA channel our Curse of Strahd game. That will be on the 3rd, should be starting at about 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, which is later than we usually do, but you know, it'll be what it'll be. It's my work schedule now. So
excellent. All right, Bonus Mom.
I am Bonus Mom, and I have been playing Bonnie Mama, the human warlock, who is very confused but trying to learn as quickly as possible. And I also will be in Curse of Strahd, in that I play Wandress, is it Grave Cleric? It's been so long, Pixel.
Wandress is a nature cleric.
Nature cleric, that's it.
Because you were a druid and swapped to nature cleric.
Yeah, so looking forward to picking up that mantle again. I want to remind everyone to check your fire alarms and your carbon monoxide indicators, and keep yourself safe wherever you are. Also, Pixel and I are adventuring through Elden Ring together on on Bonus Mom's Tavern, yeah, and then he co-streams Bonus Mom 70 for me, Hammer and Pixel for him, Elden Ring, and we play on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays,
and
maybe Fridays. Yeah, maybe Fridays. But we're playing a lot of Elden Ring. I don't know about when it's Elden Ring and Curse of Strahd. That's tricky.
All right, next on my screen is McReese.
Thanks for watching, guys. I'm McReese, and I've been playing Raven LaFey, Tiefling Druid, and I'm always hanging around in the tavern somewhere.
Cam.
I am Cam, or Noremark. You can find me here on Twitch at twitch.tv/no_remark. I have been here tonight playing the one and only, very British sounding, Neil Boggs, the Goblin Wizard. And I'm very much excited for next session.
And Kaylee.
I am Kaylee or Christy, and I have been playing Temperance, the Air Genasi sorcerer. And you can find me on Tuesday nights over at Reality Break 20 on Twitch. Actually DMing right now. We do actual play. We're doing a series of one-shots, or they're like mini series basically at this point, because this one's a long one, and so it's probably going to be several more sessions. And then I'm also, you can find me at Kaylee1999 on TikTok as well, talking about books, and I am occasionally in Bonus Mom's Tavern as well.
All right.
Right on. Well, thank you so much for hanging out, everybody. Thank you, DocRobert, for running. Thank you to our wonderful cast for playing tonight. And we are going to be rating Real Women of Gaming. They are doing an event called TogetherCon. I think they're in a panel right now. So we're going to send you all over there, show them some love. They do a lot of TTRPG stuff and various tabletop games and stuff. They're a cool bunch. So thank you all, and we will send you their way. Have a good rest of your night.
Let me tell a tale of a world where heroes walk among us, fighting through the darkness, left by monsters and by selfish men. A tale of glory rents asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes awaits them, and still they carry on. Let me sing a song of a family forged by trials and woe. On their own they falter, but together they will write their own tale of glory, rent asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they carry on. What